Good afternoon, good Thursday afternoon, Friday Eve, as I say sometimes. Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. And it is sponsored by the Saxenian family. And of course, it's powered by JM&E. The Houston Roundball Review Takeover is also available via the BS3 network on Roku. Download that app, Coach Smith. Download the BS3 app on Roku. Tell your friends about it. But let's get into it. Because he is a Houston Cougar alum, he knows the importance of being punctual, and he was even early. So without further ado, me, Kris Gardner, KG, owner of the Houston Roundball Review, I'm going to bring in fellow alum of the University of Houston, but also head coach of the Prairie View A&M men's basketball Panthers, Coach Byron Smith. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Kris. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you, as always, taking time out of your schedule to join me today. Let's see, sir. Let's talk about PV men's basketball for this coming season.
Mm-hmm.
What's the outlook? How many new faces you have coming in on the roster? And what are your expectations for this coming season?
Right now, just, in the gym with a bunch of new guys, Kris. Obviously, thankful and appreciative of the opportunity to still be here as a head coach, leader of the program. We have to be better than we were last year. Had a really down year. This past year was very disappointing. But that wasn't, because the effort wasn't there. The kids didn't play hard. Things just didn't go our way. Just didn't really click well as a unit. So I think we'll be better this year. I think we've got a little bit more size. I think we've addressed point guard issues. I thought we were a little bit devoid of, not a little bit, we were devoid of what I would consider a true floor general last year. And now we have a couple. Some guys with some experience, got some long guys on the wing, and got some guys on the inside that I think, that can help us on the board. So they've got a well-rounded team right now. It's just like every other coach in the country, just trying to get these guys to work together, gel together, and play for one another. And if we can do that, I think we'll be much improved this year, 24-25, than we were in 23-24.
How many new faces do you have on this roster?
We have one returning guy.
Wow. Okay.
We flipped it, and obviously everybody, we had a bunch of obviously grads and 1-year guys obviously last year. So those guys have graduated and moved on, and some are in grad school, some are pursuing professional basketball, and had a couple just transferred out, probably needed a new environment. So got a new group. We're really excited about these young men that we have here on campus right now.
I want to say hi to one of our viewers. He's a loyal viewer of the show, Rex 32. He knows you. I think he's old enough to know when you hooped at Houston back in the day.
Back in the day.
How many? Oh, let's see, another consistent follower, supporter, Miss Wanda Polk. You might know her too. She's also a supporter of Houston basketball from back in the day.
Hey, Miss Wanda. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach Smith. What's the size breakdown? Height? You got how many big men you got? How many wings, etc.
Kris, in this day and age, you have to be careful with that term, big man.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't like that. So we don't call them big men. We call them bigger players.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to be Wemby. Everybody wants to be Giannis. And, they want to bring it up and shoot the three and in and out, crossover, do all those fun things that they probably shouldn't be doing or wanting to do. But obviously we do have some guys. I think our tallest guys right at 6'9", got a couple 6'8" guys and 1 or 2 6'7" guys. So I do think we've addressed that issue, because you always hear that. I mean, everyone in obviously in basketball and the loyal fan thinks bigger is better. But you have to make sure that you can, recruit these young men that have size that can also, get out and play away from the basket, especially defensively, because it's positionless basketball right now. Everything's 5 out, 1 in, or 5 out, 4 out, 1 in, and 5 out. So you have to be able to have guys that can get out and can guard ball screens and be able to help recover, get back to their man, things like that. So these bigger players have to have some agility, and they have to have the stamina to be able to play both ends and get out and run, because it's a fast-paced game right now. Scoring is up. This is what every level they want scoring to be up. In the NBA, college, even in high school, AAU, people are paying good money for tickets to come out to watch scoring. Very few people want the score to be 62, 58, 55, 50. They don't want that anymore. They want it to be up in the hundreds, at least in college, in the 80s and 90s and things like that. So, again, we got some size. Just got to bring them along the right way, and obviously get them accustomed to playing a faster pace than probably what they're used to before they were here with us at Prairie View.
How much of an adjustment is that for you? You're pretty much an old school guy. How much of it was for you to adjust to this fast? You can always shoot the ball, so offense wasn't a problem, but it was more with the deliberate pace of play back in the day when you were hooping. I was at UNC.
I think the most successful people in life are the ones that can make adjustments, and you don't have to bend, you don't have to break, but you can bend a little bit. It is a new phenomenon, if you will. With players that really don't want to play, in my mind, in their domain. I think the bigger you are, I think the better chance you have of putting the ball in the basket if you're around the basket. But obviously, the game is just different now. So it's give and take. We say, hey, we do have to establish the inside on both ends. We have to throw the ball into the post to try to get the defense to collapse, to give guys shooting opportunities and driving lanes. And you also have to have guys that can protect the rim to be the anchor for your defense, right? So, but you do have to give them the freedom to be able to, and I always say for a bigger player, I think 15 to 17 feet is safe, right? When you start pushing it out to, 18, 9, 19 feet, the 3-point line, I think, you can probably run into some problems, but it's kind of give and take. Don't go away from what you're really good at, being around the basket, but you also can try to expand your game and kind of step out a little bit. So I think right now our guys are understanding the importance of being versatile, and I think they're buying in right now. So it is a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm able to make the adjustment, and our staff's able to make the adjustment to be able to give these kids the confidence and put them in position to help us be successful this year.
How long have you been a head coach at PV?
This will be my 9th year, Kris. This is 11th overall, 2 as an assistant, and this will be my 9th year as a head coach. So grateful and appreciative of this wonderful opportunity that I've been given.
And what are your goals for the team this year?
To be better than we were last year. I think every coach wants to be, in the top 4. If you can win the league, which we've done that in the past and, several times actually. So we know what that tastes like. But if you can be in the top 4, I think, obviously it gives you an opportunity to get a really good seed in the conference tournament, and have a chance to be, successful in those 3 days in March that you have to be to get to the ultimate prize and goal, which is to get to the NCAA tournament for us. So if we can be a top 4 team, that's for starters would be a goal. Not putting too much pressure on our guys, but I think we've got the tools and the pieces to be able to compete for that. And then, like I say, once you get into the postseason, it's not the best team always; it's the best team on that particular day.
True, very true. How many sophomores, juniors, seniors you got? All these newcomers.
We have 3 sophomores. We have 6 juniors. And the rest are pretty much, seniors, some grads and things like that. So right now, 16 guys on the roster, give or take a little bit. A couple guys out with injuries right now, rehabbing some injuries and things like that. So I think the breakdown, the dynamics of the team is it's a little bit more balanced. In the past has been 9, 10 grad transfers. That's just kind of what the portal offers you, and every coach wants experience and wants guys that can be a day one impact guy. But we've come to realize that you got to have a little bit more of a mixture to be able to have some retention, to be able to because you think about the present year, but you also got to think about the following year and the year after that. That you got to have guys that know your system and that can hit the ground running when it's their opportunity to get on the floor and play. So then we got a mixture of guys, different classifications. I think that give us a chance to be successful this year.
I'm going to throw you a curveball and shift to some football talk. I saw you last Wednesday at the Labor Day Classic luncheon before TSU beat Prairie View on Saturday. So what is the vibe on the hill right now after that loss to Texas Southern?
Pretty somber, Kris, to say the least. Pretty somber. Obviously, our football teams work really hard Coach McDowell, a great person first and foremost, and a really, really good football coach. I think he does everything that he possibly can on a daily basis to make sure this team is prepared to go out and be at their best. I think they had a bit of an off night. Sometimes, man, all the extra stuff that comes with the Prairie View Texas Southern game, sometimes I think it can kind of get, I think it can kind of get to some kids. I just don't think we were at our best that night, especially offensively, only scoring 9 points. And obviously we've been known to be able to put some points on the board. I think more people were hoping the defense was going to be, improved. And I think that it has improved, but offense has never been an issue of putting up points with Coach McDowell and, Eric Dooley before him and Willie Simmons, who, obviously knows is, a bit of a gunslinger, football coach, put up points on the board. So I was really shocked that we didn't score more. But hey, it's an 11-12 game season. It's not a 1 game season. Obviously, that Texas Southern Prairie View game carries a lot of weight, bragging rights, and people talk about it. And obviously, we won 9 in a row. So it's a bit of a shocker, but I'm rooting for my guys. I'm pulling for them. I think we're going to bounce back, and I think we're going to have a really, really good football season that will spearhead our other teams and give other teams confidence and momentum to be able to go out and have good seasons as well.
Now, this question is from another viewer. See, Coach, this show is pretty popular. But your answer, I'm going to answer a little bit first before I'll let you answer. Coach, how much do you follow UH basketball? CA37, Coach Byron Smith, he is an involved alum, so much so. I think you were kind of paying attention to the hire of the new AD, weren't you, sir?
I was, and I pay about as much attention to U of H as I do Prairie View sometimes.
Mhm.
U of H is a close second. Went to school there, had some of my best years, of my adult life over there, and just a huge fan of Kelvin Sampson. I've said it time and time again. I think he's the best coach in college basketball, and really look up to him, from a coaching perspective. And I don't get a chance to go back over as much as I would like, but obviously I study. I watch a lot of stuff of what that they do, and try to borrow some stuff too, because it's really good stuff. Just how they, the defensive, emphasis and the impact that they have defensively, and just how he deals with players. And obviously it's not very traditional in today's era of basketball. Players really don't really like that stern coaching and being held accountable for everything that they do, but he seems to be able to do it as well as anyone in the country, and it's accepted and it's respected. So to answer the question, I'll follow them as much as I possibly can. Obviously, they are very inviting and always, telling me to come by practice or come to a game or whatever. So they make me feel comfortable and make me feel like I can go over, whenever I have the time. So definitely a big fan of the Cougars and what they're doing right now, and a huge fan of Kelvin Sampson.
And every so often I see you at Fertitta Center, and we talking. And the newer folks don't know who you are, so it's easy for us to talk.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kris.
Those sidebars. So yeah. All right. PV's non-conference schedule. I think I got this right. And salute to you for sending it to me.
Yes, sir.
But it's a lot of road games again, Coach.
Yes.
Why is that?
We like to travel. We like to take our show on the road, and we like to let America really get up close and personal with the wonderful young student athletes that we have. We want to spread the good word and the good vibes and the good energy that we have. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, it's like everybody, you want to go out and play, a competitive schedule. I mean, this is part of recruiting, Kris. Mm-hmm. When you put a schedule together like this, all these kids want to play against the quote unquote, the big boys, the DePauls and the UABs, Mississippi State, UCLA, Oklahoma. They want that smoke, if you will. So it's part of recruiting to be able to entice, some quality student athletes to come to your program. But I just think it just gives these guys experience, and obviously a comfortable experience. A lot of these kids, they do travel the country with AAU, but, hey, it's, you're playing 2, 3, 4 games a day. I mean, it's like, eating, chips and hot dogs and things like that. So, I don't know how much of obviously it's fun for them to do it, but it's a little bit more of a professional approach where you're flying in and you checking into your hotel, two-tour room, and you got your meetings, you got obviously your breakfast, your lunch, dinner, things like that, and walkthroughs, film studies, shoot arounds, practices, and things like that. So I just think it's really good for these guys to be able to get out and see other parts of the country, some other institutions and things like that, and just to play a really good schedule. Because when you play on schedules like this, you can get a true assessment as to where you are as a player. And obviously, the final part is to prepare for a very, very difficult SWAC season that comes shortly after the conclusion of the non-conference season. So it all makes sense. It's relative, and everyone in our league is doing it. So we carefully constructed a schedule that we thought could be beneficial for us moving forward.
And how does it work? Is it based on your relationship with the head coach at that program, or someone that your staff knows? How do you put together the non-conference schedule?
It's all inclusive. My relationships, my staff, I have a great staff here. They know a lot of people. They're well-respected men, as well as coaches. I think proximity makes a difference. I like to get out to the West Coast, obviously because of the weather. The scenery is nice. We get a chance to do some different things. A la UCLA and Loyola Marymount. We'll be out in the LA area 5 or 6 days. So it's going to give us an opportunity to do something, catch a Clipper game, a Laker game, go to Disney. I mean, do something team bonding wise. So I think that makes sense. And obviously with the rest of the schedule, just playing against some tough competition that can really prepare us to be the best that we can possibly be going into January.
Now, I think the SWAC basketball media day is like in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Correct. September 20th to be exact, Kris.
I'm not a fan of it being in September. That's just my thought on that. But what are your thoughts on the media day being in 2 weeks?
The only tough thing for me is I got to try to find a suit between now and then. I don't know, maybe I can go by the Goodwill or something like that and find something. That's the only problem, though. Really, seriously, it does speed things up a little bit. You don't really know your team as well as you would like. And obviously you got to, as well as yourself going, you have to, pick 2 student athletes, and we got a new team, right? And Kris, I'm big on presentation, image. A lot of our guys, they look like they, ready to go to war, but putting the camera in front of them and things like that. I'm big on that. I want these young men to be able to represent the brand themselves and their families and their communities to the best of their ability. So, it really hadn't had an opportunity to be able to see like who would be a good fit for that. So you speeding things up, and so we got to make that selection and getting 2 guys to go represent our program. The travel, obviously, this last year was in Houston, which was very convenient. Now you got to jump on a plane and fly, be away from practice. Last year I was able to come back and make practice. I'll be away from practice and stuff like that. So it almost would have been good if it would have been, like you say, closer to the season, sometime maybe mid to late October. Probably would make sense, I guess, because it's business, but it probably would have been a little bit more convenient, a little bit better for us to give us a little bit more time to see our team, because this question is going to come up. How do you like your team? What do you think of your team? What do you? And you don't. It's hard to say right now, right? Like I told you, we've got experience. I think we got some size. I think we got some length. I think we got true point guards. We got guys that can make plays. But that's just really on paper right now. But it hasn't. You hadn't really been able to formulate these guys and put them in a position to where they can go out and work together. So you're going to be answering questions based off of projecting, and I don't like to project. The hardest thing to predict is human behavior. Right. So it's early, but I think a couple more weeks, I'm agreeing with you on that one, Kris, probably will be better. But I guess from a logistics standpoint, I guess it's when we have to do it.
How tall are your point guards?
Not very. Obviously like to try to get a Magic Johnson size or a Jason Kidd. I take a Jason Kidd at 6'4". But my point guards are they're barely tipping the scale or tipping the tape at 6 feet. But they're extremely quick, tremendous vision, and they're team guys. So I'm really excited about the addition of a couple of them that we brought in. And I think they're going to make a big difference for us this year.
With so many new players, and you touched on it, has one or two shown leadership skills like to be the team captain so far?
I think right now, the thing about it, Kris, is that these guys are they're so talkative in the social scenes and social settings and amongst their friends around campus, social media. But when you start, you get them in the gym and stuff like that, and you try to get them to talk on defense or speak up after practice or demonstrate, some of the things that would make you think that this person could be team captain, be a leader. Everybody's pretty much even right now.
Okay.
And I think that they're all just kind of learning. They're also very tired. It's kind of hard to talk when you're tired. Right now, we're working on the conditioning a lot, so they're breathing pretty hard right now. Which which in a few weeks it probably won't be as much. But I always think that the point guard is someone that's the quarterback of the team. And if you got a really good one, then obviously leadership is a big part of it. That's one of the criteria for being a point guard, to be able to lead. So I would think our point guard, like at least one of our team captains, one of our leaders will probably be one of our point guards, or maybe both. But it's still a little early. But we have an idea who we think could maybe matriculate into that role. But we're going to give it a few more weeks before we kind of start, putting a finger on this guy, that guy, thinking this person can do this, that person can do that.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
September 5th, today.
Mm-hmm.
Your point guards. First, tell me their names.
J.P. Riggs, John Paul Riggs, is a junior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Orlando Horton, who was a fan favorite here in Houston. Mm-hmm. Small guy, is cat quicker than a hiccup. And Isaiah Foster, who's a transfer from Queens College, to be a sophomore from Dallas, Texas. Those are our 3 point guards right now.
Okay, so in about a month, I'm going to reach out to you and ask, okay, of those 3, is one or two of them team captains?
I'll take your call, and I will definitely have an answer for you. That's for sure. And hopefully, one, if not all 3, potentially, because I think they've got the potential to do it. It's just, will they be willing to do it every day? Will they be willing to do it when things aren't going well? Will they be willing to do it when I'm on them very, very hard and they're not having a great day? I mean, that's what it's all about. When everything is fine and dandy and peaches and cream, I mean, it's easy to do whatever you're asked to do, right? But when things aren't going well, you're not playing as well as you want to, but you still have that responsibility. You owe it to your teammates to be a certain way. I think that's the true test and true measure of leadership and what I would call someone that I would think could be a good team captain or team leader.
Prairie View coach Byron Smith, almost done with you, coach.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, would you agree that your best teams are the teams that talk the most and effectively on the court?
I think any coach would tell you that when you got a team that's talking, good things are going to happen. It's almost like having 2 extra men out on the floor. You're playing 7 against 5 when all 5 guys are talking. But I tell you what, Kris, is one of the more difficult things in this game is to get guys to talk, right?
Yes.
On the court. To get guys to talk, like I say, in the social setting, in the apartments, the dorms, the cafeteria, on the bus, and hotel, the dinner table, never an issue, never a problem, no shyness there. But to be able to do it in that setting on the court, talking on defense and communicating and things like that, it's a pretty daunting task. But we're working at it. But to answer your question, yeah, our best teams have always been the ones that talk the most on defense and share the ball on offense and didn't care who got the credit and didn't care who scored. But that's not always easy, especially in today's game, because there's so much out there. There's always another level, right? And I'll just be honest, you got kids that want to, have a chance to go and be a professional, but now you have this NIL space, that everyone's talking about. So now you got kids that are competing, could be competing in your program for the next level, mm-hmm. right? To play so well here at Prairie View that in 8 months, they'll drive 40 more miles down the road and be at Texas A&M, and try to get to that level because, the benefits of being at the quote unquote Power 5 schools, are pretty enticing. So It's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting time right now to be in collegiate athletics. I'm thankful, appreciative, but definitely requires some adjustments to you, to how you run your program and just how you're dealing with these young men on a daily basis, for sure.
Last message from Miss Wanda.
Hmm.
She wishes you have a great season, Coach, and
Thank you, ma'am.
that's a great positive way to end this time your appearance on the takeover. Coach Byron Smith, who I've known for too long, and he's always been kind enough to reach out and join me on the takeover, and I appreciate it. And
Mhm.
4 weeks from now, I am going to reach out. I'm going to talk to you prior to that. But in 4 weeks, I'm going to ask you about team captains.
Absolutely. I'll be waiting, Kris, for sure. Look forward to it. Because I'll tell you what, not only will it help you, it's going to help me. So I'm definitely going to be, that's an assignment.
Okay.
Something to check for sure. You got it.
All right, Coach Byron Smith. Thank you as always, my man. You take care, and we will keep in touch as usual.
Sounds good, Kris. Thank you. God bless.
All right, take care. Byron Smith, Prairie View A&M men's basketball head coach, joining me and us in the first part of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by the Saxenian family and powered by JM&E. Mr. Tran, thank you for joining from the West Coast. First part of the show, just talked to Byron Smith. Byron Smith, a UH alum. So it's good to talk with him about PV basketball, some SWAC basketball, Prairie View's non-conference schedule. I'll pull that up just for Mr. Tran and those who are joining us right now to see it. Look at all those road games. Look at all those road games and some quality opponents on that schedule too. First game, the only home game for PV men's hoops non-conference, the College of Biblical Studies, November 4th, that Monday, and everything else on the road at DePaul, at Incarnate Word, at SMU, at Fresno State, at Northern Colorado, at A&M Corpus Christi, at UAB, at Mississippi State, at LMU, Loyola Marymount, on December 14th, to stay in the West Coast area at UCLA on the 17th. And then I'll come here in H-Town at Rice on a Sunday against the Rice Owls, coached by new head coach Rob Lanier. And then I'll close it out at Oklahoma in the SEC Oklahoma on December 29th. So bottom of the hour, it's about that time. We'll take a little quick break beforehand and be back in 40 seconds. But you are watching, of course, the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, sponsored by the Saxenian family, powered by JM&E. And you are watching this show via the BS3 network. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Take this brief break. And when we come back from the break, going to talk about UConn, Big 12, no UConn, Big 12, Cougs, WNBA for Mr. Tran, and all that great stuff as well. So everyone, thank you very much. Be back in about 35 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, sponsored by the Saxenian family and powered by JM&E. Streaming live on Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by the Saxenian family and powered by JM&E. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, FireTV, and of course, Roku, courtesy of the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Oh, about an hour, no, maybe a little bit more, 75 minutes ago. Brett Yormark, commissioner of the Big 12, released a statement saying the following, quote, Following detailed discussions with my conference colleagues alongside UConn leadership, we have jointly decided to pause our conversations at this time. We will instead focus our attention and resources to ushering in this new era of college athletics. Once again, from Commissioner Brett Yormark. Following detailed discussions with my conference colleagues alongside UConn leadership, we have jointly decided to pause our conversations at this time. We will instead focus our attention and resources to ushering in this new era of college athletics. Basically, that's a nice way of saying Commissioner Yormark did not have the 12 votes needed, 12 votes by the presidents, to get this done at this time. That's what they're saying. Okay. Not much has changed, and they can talk about this new era of college athletics, talking about revenue sharing and NIL and all of that, and where the schools are going to come up with the first year. I think the judge is going to rule today, later on today, regarding the House settlement, which would usher in the start of revenue sharing to the athletes of $23 million in the first year. It's probably going to go up each year for the next 10 years. So for the schools like UH, where will that money come from? $23 million. That's a lot of money when you're struggling, when you're not selling out your football games. That's an issue. But I think it's a cop-out as also, because I'm going to toss a rock at my alma mater that I love dearly, truly, deeply. This first year or two in the Willie Fritz football era at Houston is going to be a struggle, as indicated by the season opening loss at home to UNLV. So what is the difference, or how much of a difference is it for Houston to struggle under a new head coach compared to what UConn football would be doing if they joined the Big 12? I mean, heck, some of UConn football, UConn might have better or more wealthy alums willing to contribute to NIL and the collectives than Houston does, apparently. Houston has struggled these first, year three of NIL and collectives, has struggled to generate enough money to be really competitive regarding collective, regarding retaining or going out and getting talent. So I just wonder about it. I'm not surprised the Cougs lost on Saturday to UNLV. I'm surprised that the offense struggled as mightily as it did. I was disappointed in the number of penalties. Team had 10 penalties. The offensive line looked bad, which was a concern for months. And that concern was justified and displayed on the field. But the Cougs have been a group of five school for longer than it's been a Big 12 school. So that means the money, the revenue has been less for years. And they're still not getting the full share from the Big 12 until next summer. So the rationale from some folks in media, some folks, some ADs, some presidents in the Big 12 about, oh, we can't have UConn football right now because there'll be an anchor on the league. Hell, UH football for a year or two might be an anchor. Just real talk. But I trust Coach Fritz. He will turn things around. He will right the ship. He will clean up the mess that was left for him by that previous staff. It's going to take a while. They're going to lose this Saturday against Oklahoma. Nobody thinks different than that. But the issue is, as Rex says, one of the issues, and this would help. If I won the lottery, I'd give some money to UH Athletics. But fans need to learn how to support a P4, ride the waves, but fans need to come support UH football. UH football, regardless of the opponent. Period. That's been an issue for years. If more fans came to the games, if there were more sellouts at the stadium, that would mean more revenue for the athletic department. Stop waiting on, well, who are we playing? Go to the game. Doesn't matter who we're playing. Add to that, UH marketing needs to do a better job of giving fans reason to come to the games. Get them to come to a game and then give them a reason to come back. Make a great first impression so that they want to come back a second time, a third time. But if you disappoint them that first time, why are they going to come back? You don't get a second chance to make a great first impression. And unfortunately, my alma mater, marketing, has failed at that too many times. So it goes hand in hand. Got to do a better job on the field, obviously, but got to do a better job in promoting, in marketing, in connecting with the fans, with the community, with the alums, with the corporations. All of that works together, especially in this pro sports town. Houston Cougars athletics is not the Rockets. It's not the Texans. It's not the Astros. So you have to do more to get your foot in the door for folks to realize, wow, did you see what Coach Fritz is doing? Or have you seen what the football team over there at Houston has been doing for years? I'm going to go check them out. It's a Saturday. The Texans are playing on a Sunday, so it doesn't interfere there. Let's go check them out, see what they got. Let's go enjoy the food. Food needs to be good. Let's go enjoy the concessions. All they got needs to be good. You have to give fans reason to want to see you play. And this, as we say, UH football needs to put in some effort. They do need to put more effort. I think they've been doing little to none and barely some effort to get fans in the stadium. And there were great crowds under Coach Herman. Not all of them were sellouts, but they were very good crowds, and there were more fans there than there were under Coach Hogerson. And definitely more than there was at this past Saturday's game against UNLV. But winning is not enough in this town, especially in football, especially for a college football team that's not Texas or the Aggies, who have tradition of great crowds of 100,000 people at their home games. Houston Cougar football is trying to get 30,000 to see them play. Sellout is 40,000. Saturday's announced crowd was 25,000. So there's work needed to be done. Oh, I didn't hear about this, Rex. He said that Trillberger had a stumble at the game. Do tell. He said their lines were long and they were taking a long time with the tenders. Well, that's not a good look for them. But this edition, these closing moments, it's great talking to the fans, connecting with the audience. Real quick, touched on it. We all saw the Cougs lose to UNLV 27-7 in football. Soccer team, women's team is 3-2-1 overall. Last match, they won 3-2 at Texas State. Next up, got a week off before beginning Big 12 play in Orlando at UCF. Volleyball's 2-0. Won the Omaha Invitational last week. Beginning the Flo Hyman Classic this week on campus. Flo Hyman, iconic volleyball player, Houston Cougar alum, Olympian, one of the great volleyball players in U.S. history. The Flo Hyman Classic begins this evening. Cougs host Louisiana tonight, 7 o'clock, and then they'll face Northwestern State on Saturday at 5 o'clock. HCU football got waxed at SMU, no surprise there. They will host Tarleton State this Saturday at 6. Men's soccer is 1-3. I think the website had it wrong last week. Had a winning record, and I had a winning record last Thursday's show, but they're 1-3. Last match they lost 2-1 at Gonzaga. Next to be at Drake Friday at 1 o'clock. Women's soccer 1-3-1. Had a draw in their last match, 1-1 against UTEP. They will host Abilene Christian on September 8th at 1 o'clock. Volleyball, the Molly Howard Gerwig Memorial Invitational, I believe, begins tonight against Howard, and then they'll face Kansas City Friday at 6, and then have Mr. Eddie Nunez's former school, New Mexico, on September 7th at 1 o'clock. Rice. Ooh, boy, Rice football. Look to bounce back this Saturday against Texas Southern. It's at 7 o'clock. September 7th at 6, after getting dog walked at home by Sam Houston State 34-14. Ooh. The Bearcats just dominated the Owls on both sides of the ball up front. Ooh, boy. Not much else to say. 34-14. Soccer, women's soccer is 5-1. They shut out Texas Southern on Sunday, 4-0. Their next match is tonight, Thursday, September 5th at 6 o'clock at Louisiana. Volleyball has the second invitational, the Rice Invitational. This weekend, they lost their last match at Baylor, top 25 ranked Baylor, 3-0. But they host South Alabama tonight before facing UNLV on the 7th at 1 o'clock. TSU, let's go Prairie View. Prairie View trying to bounce back. I don't know if they're going to this Saturday against Northwestern State at 6 o'clock after losing 27-9 at home to TSU in the Labor Day Classic. Soccer's 1-3. Last match, they lost 3-0 versus Tarleton State. They will host Abilene Christian tonight at 7 o'clock. Volleyball. Ooh-wee volleyball. Winless so far, 0-4 in the Alabama State tournament coming up. But look who they face in the tournament. First up, Alabama, 3 o'clock. And then Friday, Arizona, 3 o'clock, before facing the host school, Alabama State, on September 7th at 1 o'clock. They might be 0-7 after those three matches. Last but not least, Texas Southern, the only football team in the area, college team, to be undefeated so far, 1-0. They will be at Rice. I will be at Rice, D-Skills. I'll be at Rice this Saturday to watch TSU and the Owls, 6 p.m. kickoff. They beat Prairie View on the Hill 27-9. Soccer's 1-3. As I stated earlier, they lost or shut out 4-0 at Rice. On the road against McNeese State tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Volleyball team is also winless. They'll be competing next in the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Invitational, where they'll face Jacksonville State on Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Then North Florida, Friday evening at 8 o'clock. And then the host school, A&M Corpus Christi, on the 7th at 2 o'clock. Trent, next info is coming for you. This info is for you. Miss Caitlin Clark. She's rolling. She's shining. Well, let me get this right here from Rex. The football team is running the tour. Texas Southern this week, and they'll be at Houston on the 14th. The Cougs got to win on the 14th. They have to win that game. They have to win that game. They have, and I think they will. But Miss Caitlin Clark, Player of the Week, Rookie of the Month, Player of the Month, Player of the Week. Caitlin Clark, the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists last week. Asia Wilson, the Aces, player of the week for the Western Conference, averaged 36 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Caitlin Clark, player of the month, representing the Eastern Conference, averaged 24 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. Nafisa Collier, player of the month from the West, a little bit better than Asia Wilson, I think because the Lynx won more. 22 points, 9 boards, and almost 4 assists per game. Then next, Rookie of the Month, Caitlin Clark. Look at the numbers, consistency, week to week, and then monthly. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and also the WNBA Coach of the Month from the Indiana Fever, head coach Kris Sides. It's ironic. The Fever won 5 in a row. They're 18 and 16 overall after that slow start when so many Fever fans wanted Coach Kris Sides fired. Many of them are quiet now. Shh. Oh, no. But she's doing it. She's done her job, turned them around. But so salute to her, salute to Coach Sides. They play, I think, on Ion, the Ion Indiana Fever Network on Friday for the next game. They won last night over the LA Sparks, their first game of a 6-game homestand. That's how you end the season. So they got 5 more games at home and then 1 more on the road to wrap up the regular season. They've already clinched a spot in the playoffs. They are the 6th seed in the playoffs. I think 2 games out of 5th, I believe. But let's see. CA asks, what time frame do I give Caitlin Clark to win a championship? The trio, the big 3 that Indiana has with Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston is rock solid. Show up a few other pieces. And then, I mean, it's not like the Aces are going away and the Liberty aren't going away. The window for the Connecticut Sun is probably closing. They might have maybe this year, next year left for their title chances. So for the Fever, 3, 4, 5 years from now for a championship, number 1 for Cece and her teammates in Indiana. Ion should have offered the Pac-12. Well, Commissioner Kliavkoff, hey, you know, what can we say? The Pac-2 now is what it is, and good luck to Oregon State and Washington State. D-Skills with jokes. Coach Huey is going to have a similar turnaround. Yeah, sure he is. Yeah. Yeah, he's bringing in those rock-solid recruits. And I'm not going to criticize the young lady who committed to the Cougs on Monday of this week. But she's not a Big 12 player, so I've been told. I'm just leave it at that. I mean, just leave it at that. But, and personally, this is me talking, not Mr. Tran or D-Skills or Rex 32. This is me talking. Personally, I hope the young lady, by the time she joins the Cougs next fall, will have a new head coach coaching her. Because hopefully, Coach Huey's contract ends May 31st, and barring some shocking turnaround, as D-Skills is tossing into the ether, when they don't make the tournament again for the 11th straight time under Coach Huey, he won't be brought back. It'll just be back. He won't be brought back. Simple as that. If his contract's up, there won't be any need for him to receive a new contract and just say, thank you for your time here. We wish you good luck. Rex 32, that's a good question. kind of surprised Louis Hinchcliffe decided to go pro in track, because track and field, from a financial standpoint, probably still has so much to do regarding paying their athletes, the competition, establishing a rock solid foundation for a premier league for track and field, for the track athletes, for the competition. Exactly. It's hard to make money in track. So, I mean, it's been discussed. Premier League, Pro League, Track and Field League have been discussed. Oh my gosh, probably half my adult life, you know. So I wish him well. And I hope the person or people who gave Louis the advice about going pro have solid reasons for him to go pro. Like, no things that we don't know. Yes, track and field definitely is much more popular and pays better in Europe, but there's still so much more it can do overall for the athletes, for the participants. So I wish him well. I mean, he's a Cougar. He'll be a Cougar for life. But there's so much more needed to be done. Yeah, the endorsements part won't be an issue for him. But for the prize money, for the athletes, the track stars, that needs to be much more consistent. And it's being discussed, and I hope this time will be it, and that someone will take the reins and get it done. But I wish him well. All right, D Skills, Rex, Mr. Tran, what is the not final, but as of right now, what is the line on the Cougs Sooners game this Saturday? Has it hit 30 yet? Because I think it was minus 29.5 last I saw. Has it crossed the 30 threshold yet? Let's see if I can pull it up here on my phone. Because no one, right? Nobody. No one believes the Cougs have any chance of winning this Saturday. Let's see here. This Saturday, the line, yep, it's minus 29, so it has not hit 30 yet. OU by 29. So, yep, it's now 29. So the betting money has moved the line a whole half a point. A whole half a point. Bryce Bell will be the regular contributor on the Let's Rage Cougs post-game shows. Like I said, I'll be at Rice this Saturday. So it will be Andy, Dayon, and Bryce for the Let's Rage Cougs wrap-up of the Cougs Sooners game. The Cougs had, I forgot, Jack Freeman. The Cougs. Andy and Dayon had Jack Freeman on Paul Samajama Wednesday, and he will be joining. Is part of the season-long partnership with him. So twice a week, we'll have Coug football players, Coug alums, sharing their insight with the Let's Rage Coug / Pod Slamma audience. So onward and upward, we're all working together and trying to do big things. All right. Rex says you want to see UH score 3 points in the fourth. I think the OU will win probably about 35. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's expected. Main thing for the Cougs this Saturday is no major injuries, no season-ending injuries. Get ready for the game against Rice next Saturday. That's it. And ideally, reduce the turnovers. 10 turnovers is too many. That's probably 5 too many. So cut down on the mistakes. The offense is going to struggle. The O-line is going to struggle. We probably, we all expect that. Oh my gosh, big time. Going to struggle this Saturday. But just keep grinding, keep getting better. And then next Saturday, the game against Rice. Yes, I know it's Rice, but it's a home game for the Cougs. Go to the game. Yes, I know the Cougs will probably be 0-2. I know that as well. But go to the game. Support the football team. Support your alma mater. I'm going to be there. These skills, I might be wearing my Rice credential, but I'm going to be there. So go to the game, support the Cougs, because the ticket prices are not high. I mean, why would they be? But football at UH is not an expensive sport. But the Cougs are in the Big 12. And they should be promoting the Bayou Bucket. I mean, you know, these skills, we talk about it. They should be doing a lot of things regarding promotions. They continue to drop the ball on it. They need to do a better job promoting what's going on with the football team, promoting Coach Fritz. We just keep giving them these free ideas. They need to start utilizing them. These final moments, I want to take this time. I'm going to wrap it up like this. I don't have the segment from Sybil Wilkes to wrap it up, to close it out. So I'm going to do this. Go across the screen, the way to support the Houston Roundball Review via the Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal. So do that, as well as putting the QR codes on the screen. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on today's show. Hope you enjoyed the conversation with Prairie View A&M head coach Byron Smith. But you can scan those QR codes. See the Cash App there, the Zelle QR code, and the PayPal tip jar QR code. Scan those. And to help me, the Houston Roundball Review, keep the lights on. As always, thank you for your time and your insight, your questions, and your comments. Salute to the Saxenian family for sponsoring the show. And I need more, looking for more people like the Saxenians. They have been a rock regarding support of the Houston Roundball Review on this show, but part of Let's Rage Cougs. They are the rock. Need more. It's like Tillman. I need more Saxenians, Coug alums, to come through, advertise on these shows. Looking for an advertiser for the Folks Talking Sports show. Looking for an advertiser on the AdMax Corner show. Hope you enjoyed the almost 90 minutes of football talk Wednesday with Adolphus A.D. Moore and his colleagues, Willie Gibson, Elwin Henderson, George Radman Radney, Kim Y. Davis. We're talking football Wednesday, getting you ready for the start of the NFL season tonight. And wrap it up. Closing moments. Texans, Colts, who you got? Season starts on Sunday. Texans and Colts, who you got? Who you got? Texans and Colts. Texans and Colts, who you got? Who you got? But the last thing I want to do is do this as you wrap it up. Let me get this part off the screen. Is honor a great man who passed away earlier this week. Rice Owls baseball coach Wayne Graham, a college baseball legend, a city of Houston legend, a product of HISD. Yes, way back when, HISD product. He passed away. Coach Graham was, I believe, 88 years of age. Great man. The few times I was over at Rice for baseball, talked to him a couple of times. Great man. He never was arrogant, never big time me. Always was kind to talk to the media. So salute to him. Condolences to his family, his loved ones, friends, everyone whose life he touched. So I want to say salute to you, Coach Wayne Graham, and may you rest peacefully, sir. And thank you, everyone, for watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Sponsor this, click on the bell, subscribe to this channel. But Coach Wayne Graham, may you, sir, rest peacefully. Everyone, take care. Peace.